I'm here with Jeff Benjamin from Crispin Porter and Bogusky, the jury chair for Cyber. Jeff, you guys finished up judging a couple days ago. Give me an idea of like the big trends you saw in the entries.
Well, there were a few trends that we talked about. You know, one was this notion, you know, in all of these entries we kept seeing things like augmented reality, elaborate ways of looking at their faces, robots, all these crazy things, and just so much technology. And at the end of the day, the technologies that we celebrated was the ones where, when you looked at the piece, all you saw was the idea and the technology was invisible. And there was this great quote that was going through the jury room, and it was this idea that technology will reach its peak and you don't even realize it's there. And the stuff that we found to be most innovative, that technology became magical. You didn't see it, it wasn't in your face. Like so many of these entries, you'd have things like augmented reality and you didn't need to have it. It wasn't important to the idea. So when you had that technology perfectly married to an idea, I thought that's when you had something great. So that was one theme. Another theme was this notion of things happening in real time and affecting real life. And we saw that in obvious things like Chatbot, where you had people online tweeting in real time, and then that was eventually making itself onto the roads of the Tour de France. We had examples like We Choose the Moon. I mean, here's an event that happened 40 years ago, a story told 40 years ago. And in the same way that people were glued to their radios, now they were glued to their computers, because in real time, that story was getting retold through the tweets, through video, through audio, and animation. There was another great piece, the Philharmonic sounds, where you could go online and then see live feeds from the square there, and then you could create music in real time by assigning instruments to people who are walking or spaces where people would pass by.
So people talk about real time all the time now, but marketing traditionally and advertising hasn't taken place in real time at all. What do you think are the biggest challenges to adjusting to like a real time environment?
Well, the biggest thing is that when you start the campaign, you don't know where it's going to go or how it's going to end up. So one, you got to be nimble to be able to evolve the campaign over time, depending on how people are going to interact with it. And then the other thing is you don't know how it's going to turn out. It might fail. And so we applauded these brands that were taking risks and doing things, social experiments, whatever it was. Somebody just kicked sand at us. We applauded that. You know, those are some of the biggest challenges.
Yeah. So another thing we saw was sort of the merging of digital and physical. I know you guys had a lot of mobile, and mobile has you know, big influence in that. I mean, where do you think that's going? And we're, you know, combining the digital and physical world.
We saw more and more of that kind of stuff. You know, the most interesting thing seemed to be when you had something happening in the real world, a physical piece, that was then talking to websites and talking to social networks. There was a great example of a piece from for I think it was Toyota, and what they did was, similar to EcoDrive, they were able to track the mileage of all these cars. But what they did was they created a competition out of that to see who could be getting the best mileage of all. So taking these physical pieces of technology out there and creating social activities out of them that would then live online. We're just working on Volkswagen. You know, one of the things you can't do in Car Havoc, these cars get way better mileage than what they can report. But they can't really tell you the maximum because of various different rules. So they use this contest to let people know that the car was able to get even better mileage than what they had been reporting.
Okay. So cool. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thanks a lot.